As you can see from my setup, I am a college professor. I teach online. I teach at a historic TCU, tribal college or university, and we are directly under the oversight of the Department of the Interior. We used to be part of the Bureau of Indian Education, and we are not anymore. However, part of those requirements are that we have to have eyes on a student for attendance. So every class session is 2 hours on Zoom. And I wanted to do this premiere video. Who am I? Why should you listen to me? Where you could see what my students experience for 4 hours every week for each class. It can get a bit brutal. Obviously, that law from 1975 needs to be updated, but let's get back to the topic at hand. Who am I and why should you listen to me? I have 20 years of experience in education from preschool through higher ed. I have been teaching in higher ed. This is my fourth academic year. I teach decolonized English composition from a methodology I pioneered and developed when I was working on my master's in TESOL. That is an acronym. It's short for Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages. I am currently working on my third master's degree, which is a Master of Science in Global Technology and Development. It is a sustainability degree. In all of my higher ed courses, since, well, maybe not so much in my associate's degree. I have an associate's degree in journalism, but in the other ones, I have had to prove for my demographic, which is Native Americans. So I have written very extensively on a variety of topics. I've also graduated from law school, and I have been internationally published in higher education twice. In 2020, if I can get this to do this, I was published in this book. My chapter, this is a peer-reviewed book. There's a different author for every chapter. My chapter, chapter 16, is teaching from the Native American Circle and why that is a valid classroom methodology, even when you're not Native American. A lot of that will inform the videos that you will see on this channel. My second publication kind of led up to my current degree. It was in 2022 in this book where I have the final chapter in it, which is a self-sustainable campus project as curriculum. It proves across 5 different disciplines, and it is also set up for L2 learners as well as Native American language reacquisition. Being a professor in higher education, I have seen a tremendous need for students to have extra information, right? You're going to see videos on where do you find a published study? I have figured out across all these degrees how to read a published study in less than 5 minutes. So you're going to see that in a video here. I have other guidance for instructors, whether you're in K-12 or you're in higher education. I have videos on things like how do you know if you're being rude to your students? A lot of students are not going to speak up and tell you. That's part of how you have greater student engagement. And that's really what this channel is about, is increasing student engagement. It's also giving college students the little bit of guidance that they might not get if they're in exceptionally large classes. At Northwest Indian College, where I teach, we are restricted to a maximum of 16 students per class because that one-on-one, that customized content to each student to ensure that they're gaining all the job place skills that they should be getting out of their course is actually being realized. Students, when they sign up for our college courses, they have hired us to teach them a specific set of skills that are embodied in that course. And that's really where greater student engagement begins. One final thought is I want to ask you, what do you see when you see me? Think about that and think about your students. What do you see when you see me? Blonde eyes, sorry, it's very late. Blonde hair, blue eyes. I am directly descended from 3 Native American nations, 2 tribal chiefs. My mother was Cherokee, my dad is Seminole and Muscogee Creek. I am directly descended from a Supreme Court Justice of the Muscogee Creek Nation. I am directly descended from the war chief for the Seminole Nation during the Second Red Stick Wars. His wife was a former slave, and she was from Ghana. I also have Black ancestry. I am a descendant of the slave trade. So think about that. When you look at me, that is not inherently visible because one of my great grandmothers was from Switzerland. She had blonde hair and blue eyes. There is one of us in my family, every generation, that has blonde hair and blue eyes. Everyone else has dark hair. My dad has dark hair and blue eyes. But think about that for a minute as you contemplate on, do you want to subscribe to this channel? Would you want to consider signing up for a membership support at $3 a month through my Buy Me a Coffee link? Or if you just want to hang out for a while and watch several videos before you decide if you want to do some of those things. And then think about what that means when you look at your students this fall and next winter, if you teach in higher ed and they change up. As a college student, when you look at your classmates, do you really know who they are when you look at them? You really can't tell about people by their outsides. And that is where engagement starts, whether we are students or professors, or we're just standing behind someone in line at the grocery store. You really don't know who they are by how they look on their outsides. It's like the old adage, you don't judge a book by its cover. You can never tell. It's just, you can kind of come to some preliminary conclusions, but you still cannot tell for sure by people's outsides. So I hope you will come back and visit this channel often. I plan to upload a short every Monday and a longer video on Thursdays. At this point, I have no intention of doing a video longer than 15 minutes because I respect your time. If you are an educator and you're on YouTube, you're here to either look for a quick video to learn something that's going to help you in the classroom, or you're trying to de-stress from the day. And in that case, I think we're all looking at cat videos. So, that is all for this time. And if you have watched to the end, I thank you very much. And I would love to hear about you in the comments. What do people see when they see you? Do you have specific things that you've struggled with in the classroom that you'd love to see me do a video on from my experience and expertise? And if you're a higher education student, is there some sort of instructional video that you would like to see from me? Let me know in the comments below and I will get on that. And until later, because there's no word for goodbye in any Native American language, I will tell you, as we say it in Cherokee, Donadago ha'i.